Welcome back, everybody. This is Brother Mute here. Today we're going to continue on our quest to beat Pathfinder Kingmaker. Let's actually just jump right into it today. See if I can get you a few hours of content here of some actual fun playtime instead of the boring stuff that has been going on lately. Let's see. We have completed Bridges' mission. We still needed to talk to him, though, I believe. And we still need to work on Octavia's, and we still need to find our chair, all kinds of other kind of stuff going on here. Notice that I'm using mods for this game. You can download those on the Nexus. By and large, though, most of that's quality of life improvements, with a rare exception of the Eldritch Arcana. Gives us a few extra spells that you didn't have access to, some feats, as well as traits that you didn't have access to because traits were not implemented in the game. This is how I was actually able to make me a mercenary who's an undead character. Definitely recommend you look into Eldritch Arcana for that reason alone. Now there is another one that I have not downloaded called Call of the Wild. It's supposed to be pretty damn amazing. It gives a bunch of spells, a bunch of different things as well. I don't think they're compatible with Eldritch Arcana, which is kind of a damn shame because both of them together would be amazeballs. But let's actually get into it, okay? So we have court intrigue to deal with, and we're hoping that that's going to be fine. I know I say that it should be fine because the date literally is more than a month away, but the game is notoriously wrong in this regard. So when it says 6th month, and if you're around the 4th month, by the beginning of the 5th month, if you haven't put somebody on this, you fail it sometimes. So it's either typos where they never went through and fixed this, or some other mechanic that they haven't explained. And this is one of the real downsides, if I will, of this game. The inconsistency of certain things is just straight up annoying. We are trying to rank up people and making them better. That's these stats over here for our kingdom. We don't have very many level 5s, and it goes all the way, I believe, up to level 10 rank, and that's obviously the goal. So we are working on that, but it's a 14-day jump each time we do that. So we are hindered, if you will, because of that. Notice we're working on different opportunities and problems, and we have days, that's the little number you're seeing here, before it's completed. So in 2 days, for example, Tristan will be back and ready to do stuff. Also, we will find out whether he passed or failed this check. So the DC checks here are listed for the opportunities and problems that you're going to solve, and you roll a d20 always, and then of course you have a modifier for each individual advisor. This is why you rank them up, because 13 is good, but if you rank him up a little more, it'll jump from 13 to 14 or 15 and on up it goes. So again, a solid way to make sure that you have a better chance of passing. Now, of course, we can scum save this, and we will do so. And I say that, I shouldn't keep calling it scum saving, because you know what? It's not scum saving. This game is difficult enough that this was an actual problem for a lot of people. It's not that you can't beat the game, and there's also an autopilot mode where you can literally shut off the kingdom events like this, where it just does it. It just takes care of shit. You will never fail the kingdom events, and you can beat the game that way. But that's basically saying that I don't want to play a third of the game. I mean, really, that just seems like a bad idea. So we are literally going to go back in time and save things as appropriate and deal with it from there. Now, I'm actually just going to kick off. I'm actually going to take some stuff here. Just a quick once over, because I know that there's gear here that I wanted to equip to people. This won't take but a moment. We had a scythe, for instance. That's something that Jaethel is really good at using. Notice that she has the internal conduit one, which allows her to get a bonus to her touch attack spells, which is something, but this is a better weapon in my mind. Again, not only is it a +3 versus a +2 against living targets, which are damn near anything in the game, with the exception of undead and constructs. Just about everything else is living. And therefore it's a +2 extra for the enhancement. So in +3 turns into +5, and then it does 2d6 of extra damage on a smack. So pretty solid. Also, she allows her to use her judgment ability one more time a day, which is something that she can capitalize on as an inquisitor. That's something that they have access to. From there, we picked up a piece of armor. No. What the heck did I pick up? Newest to oldest. Oh, the cloak, yes. I wanted to put a cloak on somebody. I have this one. What does this one do? Pass. Tristan could use it. She's using the intelligence from that cape. He's definitely using the charred mantle. She's got a +5, and she can make herself immune to poison anyway, so I don't want to give it to her. That's the real appeal here. is the +5 versus the +4, and of course the immunity to poison. No, it's quite good. That one we don't want to remove. Lindsay, here you go, kiddo. Inherit the whirlwind, buddy. All right, now with that, let's actually get into it. Quick save, of course. I do want to do one more thing now that I think about it. We have all these pieces, and I want to find out how many more of these pieces we need. So how do we do this? You actually pick up these pieces and go talk to the storyteller. And the storyteller will tell you, oh, well, you only need, find all 7 pieces, find 5 million pieces, or whatever the hell you need to do. So I found some ancient artifacts. Tell me a story. These are the pieces of the Star Commander's glove. This is the little sky metal pieces. A gift from another world, a treasure that fell from the sky to be buried in Numerian soil for millennia. Oh, how I wish I could visit the homeland of this artifact to learn its whole story. Alas, that is well beyond my powers, but if you find the rest of the 17 pieces, I will at least be able to restore the creation of these craftsmen from the stars. And again, the Star Commander's glove, or gauntlet, is what it's called, I believe. Allows you, it gives you a +8 to your strength, and it gives you the ability to at will, which means that every combat round you may cast Scorching Ray for free. Full 3 beams of laser energy damage, 4d6 of fire damage, 3 times. And it can be sneak attacked, so that's a solid upgrade, especially for someone like Octavia or our Proto Lich, who is a Ray caster combo type character that has sneak attack potential. Tell me about these relics that I pieced. Now that's something that he can refashion. Now there's this one here. Brought some relics are any worthy of a story. That's the other stuff we picked up. So he's going to look through your pack and tell you about each one. Token of the Dryad. Sky Metal Cogwheel. Got money for that. Now here's the part. The Technic League. Find the rest of their 5 items. We need 5 of the Technic League items. For the other thing, Kyonin. Find the rest of the 5. So again, another 5. And that's good enough for me. So we want to drop that stuff back off in the kitty. So 17 of the Sky Melt. So we only have 10, I think, right now. So we're a ways away from that. But we're working on it. So let's see. Where are you, Sky Metal? Here you go. And then we had the Tree Crest Well. Technically. Okay, and I think that should be everything. All right, now, quick save again, and we'll get out to it. Now we did Ragangars, and again it says in our journal updates here, let's actually limit ourselves to the stuff that's not been completed. It's done. Runaway Throne. Lena saw that thieves' choice loot is odd. Fertile saw magical portal. The trader reported, let's see. Talked to the blacksmith, a victim of the theft. City trader. Or yeah, we talked to all 3. So I think we're basically done with this until we get another pop-up. Help the storyteller prepare the ritual. King has to wait until everything is ready and then talk to the storyteller. Okay, so we're waiting on that one as well. Now, companion quests, on the other hand, No Man's Slave, talk to Ragangar. That's what we're getting ready to do now. And of course, we still have to do Octavius and finish repairing this sword, which is currently being worked on. So we want to go outside to the main square to go talk to Reg and see if we can just finish up his story arc. He probably just wants to wax poetic about what happened. For those of you that didn't catch that episode, it was literally like the last one. We found out that the people that, his people that sold him into slavery, he was a twin, and he was apparently the runt of the 2. And his brother, who was a badass, was going to be groomed to be the chieftain of their tribe, got all pissed off that they sold his brother, and went crazy, well, as crazy as you can be for someone that's justifiably pissed off, and got slaughtered while slaughtering his own people, and like only one person survived. Ragangar looks at the city below, dazed. Well, it's over. No accusations, no spitting in their faces, no big fight, just a pile of scorched bones and some stupid story from an old fart. Man, that's a stupid thing to even say. You shouldn't have spared the old man. They got what they deserved. This one, true. I like this one. Your brother seems to have been a fine lad. I wish he were still with us. Me too, but there's no helping that now. We will just have to get drunk for the peace of his soul sometime. Yes, indeed. Make sure to spill one on the floor for the fallen. It's a shame I couldn't meet my brother, of course, but he's in Pharasma's hands now, just like the rest of them. Buried and, well, no, not forgotten. I'll remember this, just left behind. I don't waste time looking for lessons and everything like Lindsay does, but if any conclusion can be drawn from this story, it's this. Let's not screw our lives like these pieces of shit did. You're my tribe, you, Octavia, the rest of our crazy gang, and I don't need anybody else. Big XP jump. Good work, bro. And it's something to point out here. Notice that he is chaotic neutral. I don't know when this actually happened, if this was recent or something that happened before, but literally he started off as chaotic evil. So this was actually him moving in the right direction. And I like the idea of using that as his pickup. Sounds good. So that's that one done. And again, just to reiterate, no main slave, finished. So we have, like I said, a couple of days to dilly-dink around. Where are we going to dilly-dink around? First, do we have to sell anything? I don't think so. Yeah, no. Is there anything that I can buy? I want to get another short sword if at all possible. This generic short sword that we have here. Here we go. We don't need 67. Just wanted to have another one, just in case I do something stupid. Ragongar has the ability to summon 6 goblins, just like many of our casters do. And he can do it spontaneously. Now, when they die, they literally drop all their gear, which includes a bunch of short swords. So again, you have the ability to repopulate your short sword supply this way. But like I said, I don't want to have to worry about it. I'm okay taking the same team. They've been fun. While Ekin would definitely add more damage to the party, I do like having Octavia here for her spells. And we are doing well. Doesn't look like anyone's leveled up recently. And I want to keep Ragongar with us because of Octavia. They have that close connection, and if there's something that's going to be said, chances are him being on the party will actually help. So, 2 days though, not much time. What can be accomplished in 2 days? Come on. All right. What's our date? 27th. Okay, so by the 29th. Is there anything that needs to be addressed? I don't think so. We still haven't taken over Dunsword. That's this territory over here. And again, we will do that. I'm not worried about it. We don't need it per se. Same with the Tours of Lebanese. That's another territory we don't own. And of course, we do not own Pitax. But eventually, when we take the throne, we'll literally get that for ourselves. So then really the only thing to do is explore and do kingdom events. So let's actually bounce back over here, teleport to Direburg, and see if we can't do this Hemlock Island idea. Oh, it's gonna make me go there the old-fashioned way. Okay, now I believe that this is one of those book events, which literally means lots of XP for doing whatever skill that's appropriate. Now, we don't have our best team for skills right now, but between the two of us, we're covering quite a bit. And then the stuff that we're missing for not having our main character or other mercenary proto-lich with us can be covered probably by most of these guys, if not all of it. So we should be okay. Reaching the wooded isle, we stopped to look around. The locals living around the lake fully believed the place was cursed. Day and night, colored lights supposedly appeared around the island, and some brave souls would even watch them fly over the water. The local legends said that anyone who saw those lights would definitely disappear. If not that night, then within the month for sure. We didn't see any lights at all, though. The island seemed forlorn and completely uninteresting. Silent, gloomy pines loomed over the gray, rocky shore. A narrow path disappeared into the woods. We decided to follow the path and explore the mysterious island. Whoever made the path clearly didn't use it often. We could barely make it out among the ferns. We had to walk single file along the path as branches from the crowded bushes grabbed at our sleeves and backpack straps, only to hit the next person in line once we passed. The forest grew taller and thicker and even darker. The air suddenly grew intensely humid as clouds of milky white, incredibly thick fog flowed from the ground. And believe me, dear reader, when I say incredibly thick, we're not talking like how an innkeeper might talk about his soup. It became impossible to see past our own noses, and it was like our ears had been stuffed with cotton. The air itself became so dense it was like walking through water. We had to navigate by touch, and we could move only half as fast as we'd been going. Dora, who'd been walking last, was forced to stop. With great difficulty, he could barely make out the muffled and worried voices of his friends ahead. Something had to be done, but what? So again, I will do a mobility check. This is not a good idea. Notice that I have a mobility of 8. Decided to break through the fog and try to catch up to everyone. For in such conditions was too dangerous. Dora decided to stay put and call out to his friends. Yeah, that's probably the one we're going to have to do here. And again, it seems a little weird that I'm the one that's in the back when I'm clearly the leader of the party. Why wouldn't I be in the front? But I guess this is your test as the main captain or whatever. Again, I could buff up with gear. I can't buff up with spells here is the real problem. And I say that because there's nowhere to buff up. Where would you do that? I could buff up at the next local stopover, but none of those buffs seem to last long enough to get from point A to point B, which is here. So the only thing I could do would be to give myself the best dexterity gear, which I'm pretty sure I already have. Make sure that I have, well, there might be a spell that would last for hours that could give me some mobility. Wouldn't be a ton, but it would be more. And with that and well, the mobility gear, I might be able to pull this off. Matter of fact, let's actually do a quick check on that. Yeah. Right. Go ahead. Okay, piss off. All right, let's go back. Let's take a look at this first. We'll just see if it can be done. Okay. Of course, I can wear the gloves that give a mobility bump, or I could get boots on from somebody that has mobility boots. Nope. Trap Springer's gloves, no. Undertaker's gloves, no. Athlete's gloves. These ones here are the gloves I'm thinking of. And again, I do have a high dexterity +6, so I don't think there's much that's going to get me better than that. So basically, I'm going to equip these gloves. No. Alkali. Now that's a +3 to my mobility check. Okay, so now I went from an 8 to an 11. Now again, I can only pass this on a 19 or 20. That's not great. Ideally, we'd like something better. What might I do to make something different? Well, I could... Looking for basically any kind of ring that might be a buff of some kind. You'd be surprised how many pieces of gear you come across that are like, this is a +1 to your check. Here's a ring of reckless courage, for instance. Trickery, though. Nope. A stealth, no. User, no. You got anything there? Jewelot doesn't have any more of the same. Okay, so really that's it. So the question then is, do I have a spell that's long-lasting that will give me a mobility bump? And I think I do. Let me find it first. Overland flight. Do you give mobility? Yes. And it lasts for 1 hour per level. See that? So I'm level 17. So the next closest stop is clearly within 17 hours. So if we go back there into the fort or whatever, buff up with this spell alone, and then run our happy ass right back to this spot, we will have a buff. What will that buff be? Half my caster level rounded down. So basically a +8 to our mobility. Now, is that a competence bonus or does it even say? No idea. So we have no clue if that will be helping much beyond it. So the closest spot, I would say, is probably this Rillen spill. Yeah. Let's go there. Enter. And there might be one other spell we can pull out to help us out. Okay? and that's the heroism. Not greater heroism, because that one's only like 1 minute per caster level. Even if we double somehow the duration of that thing, it's still going to be less than an hour. So that's not going to work. But I do have this spell here. Okay. And again, mobility jumped up a considerable amount. Happy to have that. And that might allow us to pass that check now. Last thing, like I said, would be heroism. And why did I say heroism? Because
You require my assistance?
Jubilost has it. But I could take it in a potion form. I'm fairly certain we have those. Potions of heroism, I mean. Yes. So if we have this activated on me from Jubilost, that would be at, what is it, caster level 16, and he has double the duration. So it's 160 minutes times 2. So that's 320 minutes, so 5 hours, and I think we're within that range between point A to point B. So this would be a good way for me to get another +2, and it's a morale bonus. Putting me now at a solid 21. So again, out of 30, as long as we do the check like this, we should only need a 9 or better. Makes scum saving this part a lot easier. Okay, so I believe that that's a good idea. I always like when I can solve one of these little problems myself versus having the game literally just like, nope, you're not good enough for this particular check. Move on, peasant scum. So this is always nice. Go. Yeah, 3 hours. Perfect. Uh-oh. Oh, of course. Same problem as before. Quick save that, and again, my buffs are still on me for another 2 hours and change. Yeah. Follow the island. Okay, here we go. Mobility check. Dora decided to break through the fog and try to catch up to everyone. Success and a decent chunk of XP. Dora continued forward through the fog, but progress became more difficult with each step. He felt a sudden movement of air to the left before he flew back forward, having been pushed hard in the back. But our brave leader's dexterity didn't fail him. Dora kept his feet and turned sharply, managing to spot a shadow disappearing into the fog. The fog finally began to clear, and soon there was no trace of it. Dora looked back, and his friends were nowhere to be seen. But up ahead, he could just make out a blinking, welcoming light. As Dora approached the light source, it quickly became clear that the light was a bonfire. Soon Dora entered a brightly lit clearing and saw all of us. But why, then, did no one jump up to greet him or give a welcoming yell or a hug or even offer a cup of hot tea? Why had everyone frozen in their seats, spoons lifted in the air? Why the deathly silence? Imagine Dora's surprise when he finally saw why his appearance had caused such a strange reaction. It seemed he had been missing it all. He had been sitting with us all by the fire, watching his exact copy emerge from the forest. Yes, dear reader, just imagine it. 2 copies of the king met in the clearing, seemingly identical, but which of the 2 was real? The king sitting by the fire said, how can there be any doubt? I'm the real king, of course. Devils knows who just walked out of the forest, and you're ready to believe them over me? So much for good friends. And what did the king who walked out of the forest answer? So we have another mobility check. Nothing. Instead, he jumped over the fire and attacked his adversary with his fists alone. Nice. Or I could do a Lord Nature check that we clearly passed. I can tell you exactly how many meals we carried with us, down to the last pack of hardtack. Can he do the same? Haha, that's nice. Lawful good. I can do a diplomacy check, which we're not likely to pass. We need 11 or higher, so 50-50 chance, a coin toss on that. Well, why not tie us both up and interrogate us? You'll soon discover which of us is the doppelganger that way. If we do the Lore Nature check, we're not going to get XP. It's just, this is a way that the game literally allows you to just say, you know what, you're smart enough with Lord Nature that you pass this check. And again, if you didn't pass it, you probably wouldn't even see this as a pop-up choice. You wouldn't see that you failed it. So this is like a game giving you like a mulligan. Like, here you go, buddy. You pass this and you're fine. Click this and you will definitely succeed. But if we do these and succeed, again, we'll get XP. Now, do we want the 50-50 coin toss? It's the lawful good option, and we are lawful good after all. We can do the mobility check and just beat the shit out of them, but that could end south. Just because we pass the check doesn't mean there's a good outcome. So I kind of worry about doing this one because, I look like the hostile jackass that just emerged from the forest that's trying to impersonate their king. How do they still know it's me? Let's try the coin toss. Success. A deafening silence hung in the air, and one could hear the thoughts churning through our brains. And then Dorraj, sitting by the fire, laughed in a strange voice. He stood up and began rising into the air. The mask dropped, and we saw a short, pale man with blonde hair and parrot-like wings with bright feathers. We all went after him together, but Dorraj held onto him most tightly. His hands gripped the Joker's wings in an iron grip. Then an ear-piercing whistle sounded from all around us, and stones began raining on us from above. The impostor was aided by his winged kin, who grabbed him by the hands and began pulling him up. We didn't give up, but in the end, we were overpowered. There were just too many, dear reader. They quickly reclaimed our prisoner from us. Soaring into the air and shaking their fists at us, they flew off. We sat a long time around the fire, laughing and chatting about how Dora cleverly dispelled the illusion. And when morning came, as we looked around at the rainbow-colored feathers left behind by our uninvited guests, I noticed one of them had lost a valuable bracelet in the fight. We'd ended up with a trophy, at least. Bracers. And 5,280 XP. What? Good work, team. Let's look at that bracer. Right. And we're going to go for newest to oldest. Golden Vision. Now check these out. These bracers grant the wearer a +1 bonus to illusion school spells DC check and a +2 saving throw against the illusion school spells. So again, if you're making an illusionist build, and I've talked about this in previous videos, so I'm not going to waste too much time on this. This is one of those pieces of gear that you wanted to have to make your illusionist really sell itself. There's hats, but I think there's like gloves or belts. This golden vision here, and there might even be a weapon that gives you a bonus to your illusion spells DC check. Or rephrase, it may not be say illusion spells, but it may say something like death, or fear, or mind affecting, compulsion, stuff of that nature. If you look for stuff in your tooltips for your gear that says that, chances are it's falling under the illusion spells in many cases. So that's a really nice boon. So you can really jack up a high, and I mean high, DC check build for illusion if you really want to. Enchantment, probably really close to it as well. I would, again, go with, say, the arcane bloodline for either a sorcerer or an eldritch scion, and the reason for that is it's really easy to get your charisma super high anyway. Why not have spontaneous spell casting? Since you know you're going to be an illusion guy or woman, why not have them just be, at your beck and call? Every time you need another illusion spell, boom, here you go. And sorcerer clearly being more powerful as far as the spells are concerned. Think about some of the illusion spells you can have access to. Phantasmal Killer is an amazing insta-kill spell. If they fail their checks, there's usually 2 with illusion, sadly, but if they fail their checks, boom, they get hit, and they get hit hard. Shadow Evocation, Greater Shadow Evocation, and there is an AoE version of Phantasmal Killer as well. So again, there's something that the sorcerer would have access to that the Eldritch Scion does not. That's a pretty badass little piece of gear there. Notice, price-wise, though, it's not considered overly pricey. Well, it's actually not that bad, 10 grand. All right. Quick save again. We want to stay within the bounds of our kingdom. Let's actually connect some dots, shall we? While we're waiting for Tristan to finish his current quest in the days of the month the 29th rolls around. So, weird place to just straight up stop. What the hell? I feel like we've missed a check or something. You see that? Again, just connecting the pieces.
I need to catch my breath.
That seems really weird that there's nothing here.
May we have a moment of respite?
No, you may not. Stop asking. Alright, here we go. You passed your check, bro? Triumph, no less. The advisor's servants came to an agreement with the mage. His discovery now belongs to the local mages, and they are studying it with great interest. What was this discovery? He's going to Athlon to present research. Oh, it didn't tell us. But +3 to loyalty, +2 economy, +3 arcane. Not bad. And again, he's available, but sadly he's not available for anything we need right now. He is someone, though, that we could probably rank up at some point. It's very close to the end of the month, so we want to make sure that we're back. Oops, that we're back for our,
My strength betrays me.
yeah, okay, it's time to rest. We'd like to be back in time for, all the cool stuff that might show up at the beginning of every month. We don't really have much meat. Ooh, chocolate, ice cream. I think that's Lindsay's favorite. Baked spider legs. Ew. Who likes an owlbear omelet? Octavia. I bet you want an omelet. Let's give it a go. Begin resting.
Curses! How did you get it into your head that I hate everyone? I'm just making sure everyone does everything right for the sake of everyone else. For our cause. What do I get in return?
Me? Thinking that you hate everyone? Ha! What nonsense! I know full well that you don't care one whit about anyone besides yourself. And you couldn't care less about our cause. You just like to point out people's mistakes so you can feel superior.
That is not true. Jubilas sacrificed his immortality for another person. Octavia, you bitch. And another thing. Just kidding. Alright, moving on. I do like the interaction between those two, though. They are pretty damn funny. Alright, might we, no, I say, might we actually get that done today, in the time before the beginning of the next month? Sadly, no. Alrighty. That's pit taxes. I was trying to see if that territory was ours, that I haven't claimed it yet, but no, it's part of pit tax. Alright, it's a little weird that pit tax is not going either way to let us in. Let's actually kind of cruise down that way again. We will exit out here or over to here. But I do want to connect the dots, like I said. Save it, of course. I'm not a complete idiot. That was fun. If you ever can't tell if the dots have been connected, sometimes like we'll complete a patch or it'll look like the patch is connected completely. If you click to here and you'll notice that it's telling you to go a different route to get to that spot, or there is no path to that spot, then that means you did not finish the connecting path. So just make sure you check that stuff out. See if I can find an example. I think this one might not be connected. But again, it's hard to tell. It's one of those where, you know, like the trees are in the way, and as the trees are in the way, sometimes it's slower. So while I may think that this is a faster path to go this way, the game knows better. So that's the thing. I think I want to go here.
I need to catch my breath.
I know you do, honey. Time to go here, though. It's about the beginning of the month.
Have a moment of respite?
No, no, you may not. And as you can see, we have something already in our kingdom to deal with. Failure. Yep, see, look into the future. We didn't assign somebody, and there was nothing we could have done about that. They gave us 2 opportunities to pass that, and they kept pushing the date back, saying, oh, the 6th month, the 6th month. And that's why it was okay, because I needed her to reforge that sword. Completely screwed us on it. But it was only an opportunity. So in the grand scheme of things, yeah, I would have liked to have had it. Sounds pretty awesome to know what happens to you in the next year. So, yeah, cool. But we got to get this one, and at least this one seems to be accurate, where it is giving us till next month to do it. So we have the opportunity to have one of these guys hop on board. So we're going to head back to base, spin up a day or so, so they turn in their quests, and then go from there. And since it is the beginning of the month, we may actually do like a 14-day jump. So the trick on these ones are always the same. You know, when do you do the 14 or 7-day leaps? Obviously, the beginning of the month or the middle of the month are your goals, because that we always have time by the end of the month still to do something. But, oh crap, not this again. Oh, right there, I thought there was going to be another throne problem. My God, jeez. How embarrassing. I have nothing but a stool to sit on. So what we can do, first we could take a rest. We clearly need to. She'll finish this tomorrow. So an 8-hour rest will be more than enough, and we still won't be missing the chance to fast forward a day with Octavia. That's fine. Come on over here, kiddo. Leave that. You're going over here. That. Now, like I said, she has a day left. They have 2 days left, and again, we want to put one of them on this. So I don't think we want to do the 14-day jump until we free up these guys and put someone on this. You understand? So, quick save. Skip a day. Make sure she passes, which should be any reason not to. Bring the sword to the Six Bears tribe, so that's our next quest. That's fine, we'll do that here in a moment. Skip another day. Now, Triumph. Relations, +5, stability, +2, +3 BP. Kayona not only responded to our request for help, but also sent in troops to ensure the local safety. The reclaimers were ousted. Nice. That was the one that Lindsay was asking us not to go along with the other son of a bitches. Failure. Alright. So it's going to be one of those days, huh? Fine, fine, fine. We know this was going to be an issue. This is one of the reasons we want to rank up, because we're having these problems. Again, we've rested. We're waiting to put one of these guys on this, so we want to skip a day. And of course, I need to save when she passes this, so we don't have to keep going back in time. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people at least turning stuff in right now. Ooh. Disaster. Lindsay, what the hell? Just a minute ago you were a Triumph. Alright. Success. +3 relations, +3 BP. We'll take it. Failure. We will not take that. You might want to get comfy, guys. This may take a few minutes. A lot of these checks, I should actually show you the checks to show you what we're looking at here to try to pass. This is why we're having difficulties. 50% chance to pass it. 61% chance to pass it. 75, 65, 50 again. So again, it's not like this is going to be easy. And when they all turn in at the same time like this is our problem. So again, nothing we can do about it but scum it. If you are of a mind to make sure this stuff passes more likely than not, then again, you want to get your ranks up. You want to find out whatever stat is associated with this person. This could be dexterity, it could be strength, it could be wisdom, intelligence, charisma. Again, you need to find out what it is that makes this advisor a good espionage advisor. I'm assuming it's a wisdom thing for him, but I don't know that off the top of my brain. Lindsay, I assume that hers based off of charisma, and she is a charisma-based person, so that works out well. Same with Valerie, even though she's a strength/con person as a fighter, her charisma was 15, which we put up to 16. That's a +3. That gave her a bonus to her stat. That's how we know it's charisma. Okay. You can also look this up on the web, by the way, to find out what their stats are. No, not a disaster, Lindsay. Come on now. Lindsay, stop that. Okay. Hey, here we go. Success dressed in the disguise of a wandering monk. The minister suggested the priest should establish a free community in Galt. The Canaanite was thrilled by the idea and left the realm, taking his most faithful with him. +4 to espionage. Finally an upgrade to espionage. Jeez Louise. Success here as well. The general's idea to return the veterans back to the army has paid off. They became sergeants and instructors and passed their knowledge on to the younger recruits. Their valuable experience has made the army stronger. Officers were present to ensure that the veterans didn't overstep their bounds with their younger comrades. +5 military. Triumph looking good so far, guys. Last one, of course, is a 50-50 check, so it's going to suck if Valerie fails this one. Triumph. The warden set up an ambush. He ordered a trade caravan to take a road that winds along the edge of the forest and hid 2 squads of archers among the trees. Harpies didn't stand a chance. As soon as they attacked, the archers took them all down. +3 stability. We actually did this one once before. Oh, hell yeah, finally. The king's servant managed to arrest the murderers and identify their employer. Such effective action has earned neighbors respect, +3 community. Saving it, hardcore saving that shit. That was amazing work, guys. That did not take that long at all, really. Very impressed by you. Now, again, like I said, we have the ability to put these guys on this. Now, he's rocking a 45%. You got to assume Ekin's even worse. So I'm going to put Keston on it. Okay. Yes, I know I could have put a coin on it to make it better than 45%, but it's so close to 50 at this point, I'm not really worried. Now, we've saved. Before we get crazy, let's go to our throne room first. Make sure that we don't have artisans that want to drop us goodies. They always like to bring me stuff at the beginning of the month. And yet they didn't. Boo. We should check, of course, our journal update. Before we fast forward 14 days, we might want to actually go complete Amiri's quest when we take the sword back. The reforged blade. And again, that doesn't say it's on a timer, but you gotta figure vengeful spirit, pissed off at her people, kind of might want to, make sure that we cover that shit. So I think that's actually the best idea here. We can do fast forward events when we come back. 7 days, 14 days, whatever makes sense to us. So we need to take Amiri with us on this one. So we'll probably swap out Ragangar and Octavia and put in our A string team and take, of course, Amiri with us as well. So leave, not you, not you. So let's do that. You're coming with us, kiddo. Taking our other mercenary, Tristan, and I love having Jubilos on the party for bomb damage alone. Amazing to have him on there for those force bombs or holy bombs. It's just sad that you really almost feel the need to grab some of the other bombs as well, because you want to get like acid bombs early for when you need to do quote unquote acid damage to those guys that are immune to fire. It kind of sucks that you do that to yourself, but it's one of those things. Where are her people? That's gotta be it. Okay, what's close? Where Rat's close? This is also close. Let's teleport to Glenshire first. 7 hours, good enough for me. Yeah. What? We got Amiri. Abandoned this place long ago. Okay. Where the hell are her people then? Oh, I didn't miss out on the opportunity, did I? Oh, that was... Oh, Six Bears Camp, where the hell over here? Shh, wait a minute. Go back in time. That's why we save everywhere we go. I should have realized. Doop, doop, doop. Damn it. Hold on a second. Load game. There we go. I think I saved as soon as we stepped outside. Yeah. Okay, so we want to go here. Where the hell is it again? Six Bears Camp, so here. Teleport to Glenshire. Honestly, and devs, pay attention to this one if you guys are ever watching this video. The ability to teleport is awesome, but here's something that you could really do to make my day. So here's a city of mine, or town. Okay, if I say teleport to Trade Guard, just assume that that's where I wanted to go. I mean, really. If I found the city, that's just, or at the very least, it should be at the top of the goddamn list. Highlighted, so that I can just say accept and move on. Either of those would be a viable option. It seems weird that I had to find it again, because I specifically clicked it and said, hey, go here. Yeah, I don't know, just a minor nitpick. But again, something I'm certain you guys could fix quite easily. Alrighty. Now we're going to assume we're going to get into a fight here. Remember, we are fighting a ghost, or dealing with a ghost, that's quite pissed off at her taking his famous sword, which is a piece of piss for her anyway. We got axes that are way better. but she wants it. And again, she's worried about her buddy. Nala? Something like that. So, of course, again, we are going to assume problems.
Dorraj an na ea orama na ea orama ha I riti ha I riti na
I
ea
will see this.
orama
Ona Adayanan. Ona Adayanan.
Inimosi travisi. Inimosi travisi.
We're still within our kingdom, so we have our delayed poison on us. It is a ghost after all, so I'm going to assume that that card might be useful.
Tashani savitur. Tashani savitur.
Let's move already.
Vosh an na ea orama. Na ea orama.
Share your troubles.
Aporane sentes. Ona adayana. Ona adayana. Ona adayana. Ona adayana.
Since it's Amiri that's going to be dealing with this problem, I want to make sure that she's actually pretty well protected.
Tashani savitur. Tashani savitur.
Yes?
Ona adayana. Inimosi travisi. Manishrim sukino. Ona adayana.
I have the ability to make her way kind of awesome thanks to
Inimosi
Jubilost.
travisi. Manishrim sukino. Inimosi travisi.
Give her some pretty wings too while you're at it, bro.
Inimosi travisi.
Get some hair with them,
Aporane sentes.
freedom of movement,
Ona adayana.
bark skin,
Inimosi travisi.
some invisible ghosts,
Sano danium.
just in case it does physical damage, which why wouldn't he? Stone skin. Well, alright. Save that. We are buffed to the nines. Let's hope the fight is here instead of 5 minutes away where we lose all our damn buffs.
In due time.
There he is. Amiri, you little thief, mortal fool, interfering in the affairs of eternal beings. It is time to return what was stolen. Shove it! Amiri throws the sword at the ghostly giant who catches it and gazes upon it, twirling it in his huge palms. Fine work. You surprise me, mortals. Your life is but a breath in the wind, a snowflake in a hurricane. But nevertheless, you can at times create something that will last through the ages. This sword is even finer than the one that was stolen. Who are you? My name is Fionn. Once my brother Kian and I were powerful rulers of the first world. Together we were nearly equal to the eldest, but not quite. Eternal, serene life in our land was not enough for Kian. He wanted more. He wanted to become equal to the eldest and conquer new lands. First he began to devour our subjects, drawing on their strength, and then he tried to do the same with me. As punishment, I banished his soul into the sword, which later fell into the hands of Amiri. Why do you need this sword? It is the prison of my beloved hated brother Kian, the murderer of family and friends, a ruler who dreamed of greater power, but who instead destroyed the people he ruled. You nearly released Kian by breaking this sword, and he may yet free himself if the sword is not sealed. Do not be afraid, mortals. We have here everything for the ritual that will seal my brother and the sword forever. How did this sword end up in Amiri's hands? My brother was very powerful. When I imprisoned him in this sword for his crimes, I created a very dangerous artifact. With sweet lies, the sword persuaded my servant to plunge it into my body. It drained much of my energy, turning me into this pitiful creature you see before you, a ghost, a shadow of my former greatness. My brother, in turn, used this power to escape into your world, but in this he outwitted even himself. Our strength is linked to the magic of the first world. We are far less powerful here than we are on our home plane. Once here, the sword lost its strength, even its ability to speak. It did not bring happiness to the giant who found it. It did not bring happiness to Amiri, who looted the giant's corpse. Having broken the sword, you nearly freed my brother. But now we shall seal it forever. Why did you haunt the Six Bears tribe? After I was struck down, a treacherous spirit fled with the sword into your world. Powerless, a shadow of myself, I followed it, for I cannot allow its prisoner to free himself. I found the body of a giant who once possessed the sword. I found the bodies of barbarians killed by Amiri. I walked invisibly among the tribes, listening to their speech and tracing their thoughts until I learned the sword's fate. I demanded that the Six Bears tribe find the thief. This was only fair, for the sword was stolen by one of their own, and I would have it returned. If only Amiri listened to me at our first meetings, much trouble could have been avoided. But even immortals cannot rule fate. Everything happened as it happened, and now the sword is in my hands. What will you do now that you have the sword back? I will not avenge your theft. I never desired revenge. I only wanted to ensure my brother imprisoned in this blade would never break free. I once thought returning him to the first world would be sufficient, but now I realize this would not be enough. There is only one way to be sure. I will cast the spell of imprisonment once again, this time on myself. I will place into the sword all my strength, which my poor brother so craved, and thus I shall share eternity with him. This sword will become our common tomb. After that, Amiri, you may keep the sword for yourself, but not before the ritual is over. Wait, so all these troubles could have been avoided if we simply talked when we first met. That is to say, if someone hadn't started swinging their sword around without even a chat. Well done, Amiri. Well done indeed. Don't laugh, gnome. In the hands of fate, we are all but toys, but both mortals and gods alike. One word said today can create or destroy a kingdom over the course of a century. It has happened before. It will again. What happens if you don't seal the sword? My brother will free himself. He is an endless storm, greedy, cruel, unpredictable. He will do great evil, and he will start with Amiri and her tribe. He remembers you well, but I cannot see his mind. Perhaps he will seek revenge. Perhaps you will become his plaything. Either way, you will not survive. Begin the ritual, then. Giant brings the sword to his lips, whispering a spell. A stream of light flows from him into the blade. Already transparent, the ghost becomes barely visible. The end is near. There is almost nothing left of me. I am the shadow of a shadow. I am dust and ash. My power, my immortality. I gave everything to imprison my brother forever. There is only one thing left. The giant hands the sword to Amiri. To finish the ritual, the sword must be plunged into the heart of a chieftain. I would give my own heart, but I no longer possess a living body. However, there is another chieftain here. Do this, Amiri, and let eternity come to an end. Kill yourself, Amiri. Do it. Do it now. Nilak comes forward. Fionn spoke truly of the threat of his brother's release. I must protect my tribe. Do it, Amiri. I am ready. I think she wants to take it in her freedom chest. A chief, Akaya, pushes her away. Step aside, girl. This tribe needs you. Hey, you evil spirit. A former chieftain is good enough, right? The ghost nods and Akaya thrusts himself forward. Come, girl, strike. At least I'm still good for something. Mary falls back, turning pale. No, I won't do it. She turns to you. What is this? What should I do now? So we have choices. We can sacrifice Milik. It must be done. Sacrifice Akaya. Let him die with honor. Chaotic good. I am also a chieftain. You called me your chief. Sacrifice me. Oh, that's cool. The ghost said he lost his immortality. Let's just destroy him once and for all. And when his brother appears, we'll deal with him too. That's nice, man. That's nice. Dude's trying to help you here. And what do? Let's just gut the bastard. Alright, so. Well, I don't like the idea of Milik. That's her buddy. I don't, Akaye, he's old. I'm not saying that's a good reason to kill him. I'm just saying that he's old. And he's willing to die because he's old and he knows it. And Milik needs to stay behind and be the chieftain now because they voted her in. I don't want to die. But I guess I don't have choices. Really, it'd be Akaye or me. Honestly, if I were to be honest, the two choices that make the most sense. However, let's just be clear on this here, guys. Depending on who you pick, the sword changes depending on who you pick, by the way. So there's 3 different sword choices, at least, after you repair it and fix it in this manner. So remember, she gets to keep the sword. So, depending who sacrifices themselves, depends on whose spirit, I guess, is bound to the weapon and what kind of buffs it has. And I don't know, we'll take a quick gander at them, but I don't know what that means. But I'm going to go with me. I am also chieftain. You called me your chief. Sacrifice me. I was once called, Amiri says thoughtfully, then turns to her fellow tribesmen. Hey, men, before my exile, I want to kick your butts. You gave me a nickname, remember? Come on, say it out loud. I won't beat you for it this time. Men glance at each other. One of them hesitantly says, the soft chieftain? Ha, your words, not mine. Hey, you Ghostface, you got your chief. With these words, Mary places the hilt of the sword on the ground before her and throws herself onto the blade. 960 XP. She sacrificed herself. Good on you, Amiri. Switch. Oh. Such nobility is rare among mortals. It should not be wasted. I still have enough strength for one spell. Do it. What he said. Bam. The ritual is over, brother. I'm coming. Amiri rises to her feet. She touches her smooth skin through the hole in her blade closed, then grips the hilt of her sword. Huh, still alive, ain't I? Amiri's Triumph, reforged ginormous sword. We lost that one and gained her Triumph. She turns to her former tribesman. I paid all my debts. Live and obey Nilak. The barbarian approaches you with a triumphant grin, spreading slowly across her face. Well, Chief, we won. Where to next? To the first world or right to the abyss? Together we can smash anyone and anywhere. Well, all right, Amiri. Boom! Finished her quest. What does that sword look like? It is a +4 oversized Furious Sword now. Furious oversized Bastard Sword +5. So again, because it's oversized, it's a -2 penalty to her swing. But it deals more damage as a result of being oversized. Also, it's now a +4 weapon where it used to be a +1 way back when. Now, it's also, remember the Furious effect here. When the wielder is raging under the effects of a rage spell, so she's a barbarian, so she rages all the time, it's +2 better. So a +4 weapon turns into a +6 weapon. That's solid, man. That's a solid weapon for her. And I don't mind that. But look at this, 28 to 42. Crits on a 19 or 20. And again, if we had invested in Bastard Sword as a proficiency / improved critical for Bastard Sword, I believe it works on this sword as well, even though it's an oversized Bastard Sword. A large Bastard Sword. It's still considered quote-unquote a Bastard Sword for purposes of this game. So any bonuses that you would have given her here for Bastard Sword would have worked. Notice the damage range, though, is my point, from 28 to 42 to 38 to 49. You still want that big-ass axe. Now let's actually show you the other weapons. And again, we will equip them because we have to we'll gift them to ourselves, I should say. Specifically so you can see them, and we will throw them to the dirt, pretending like they never existed. Okay? The reason that we have to do that, again, is it doesn't tell us everything about them unless you literally have them in your hand. Oops. I want the weapon one. There we go. And I want to say Bastard Swords, like that. So this should be all the Bastard Swords in the game. Now notice, we got Martyr's Blade. That might be one. Graveyard of Giants. That might be it. Amiri's Triumph, Nilak's Sacrifice. No, there they are. Akaya's Honor, Nilak's Sacrifice. Okay. So I'm going to have to get rid of a bunch of ones that I picked up by mistake here. But let's take a look at them just so you can see what your choices could have been. And I wanted to go... Yeah, that's good. So we have Nilak's Sacrifice. If we would have went that route, it would have been the same +4, but it would have been a vicious oversized Bastard Sword. What does vicious do? It does extra damage to the target, but it also does some damage to the wielder, which kind of makes sense. It literally would be one of those where it would kill her to even use a weapon that literally her friend died for. So again, makes sense. So drop you. Notice we have Martyr's Blade, drop that. Graveyard of Giants, drop that. Well, actually, I should check that real quick. Akaya's Honor. This is an oversized large Bastard Sword. Frost. Sheathed in a terrible icy cold that deals 1d6 of extra cold damage. Now, that would have been okay. And I would have dug that from a giant Frost Giant's weapon in the first place. Having cold damage being added to it makes sense to me. And I would have been cool with that. Let's drop that. I do want to pick up that one we just looked at because I think that could have been another possible option. I don't know if that option makes sense for us or if it was another possible outcome if we had done something different, obviously. Wow, look at this one. Graveyard of Giants. +5, Frost, Furious. Or Greater Frost, excuse me, Furious. So it does 2d8 cold damage. Oh my god. Oh, here you go. Both brothers. So again, we probably could have convinced him to like literally say, screw you both. But yeah, that would have been a much better weapon. So it's the Furious that she had, +5 versus +4, and even extra cold damage, like crazy extra cold damage. It's kind of like combining hers and Akaye's. So we're going to drop that though, because again, that's cheating. We're not going to do that sort of thing. But not bad, not bad.
I'm there.